Cek, 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 cok. Satu, satu, dua, tiga, tiga, dua, satu. Bagaimana panitia? Sudah dibuka zoomnya? Ya, kita akan mulai jam 8 ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? Shortly, we will start the International Tourism Seminar 2022. Welcome to the International Tourism Seminar 2022, hosted by Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy a welcome dance of four ethnic traditional dance performed by the student of Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar.
Angin memiriku masa
Welcome to the International Tourism Seminar 2022. Welcome to the International Tourism Seminar 2022 hosted by Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar. Please give applause. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning ladies and gentlemen. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Let me introduce myself. I am Indra Gunawan. I am a Master Ceremony today, International Tourism Ceremony 2020 today. The Excellency Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of Indonesia, Ms. Niwayan Giri Atnyani, the Honorable Director of Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar, Mr. Muhammad Arifin, the Honorable all speakers of International Tourism Seminar 2022, Ms. Nia Niscaya, Ms. Diana Mutiara, Mr. Parinya Nakpatom, and the Honorable all distinguished guests and participants. First of all, let's pray to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has been given us a good health and a good opportunity so we can attend to this International Tourism Seminar on 14 September 2022. The theme of the International Tourism Seminar is Rethinking Tourism, Strengthening Collaboration and Togetherness Toward the Tourism Revival. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that this seminar is conducted as one of activities to celebrate the 34th anniversary of Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar and commemorate to World Tourism Day. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start today's International Tourism Seminar, let's pray together according to our belief and our religion. Pray begin. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, next the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. All distinguished guests and participants, please stand up. All distinguished guests and participants, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the next is welcome address from the Director of Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar, the Honorable Mr. Muhammad Arifin. Time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang terhormat Sekretaris Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif, Badan Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif, Ibu Detranda Niwayan Giri Atiani CHE, yang saya hormati narasumber yang telah hadir di tengah-tengah kita saat ini, Ibu Profesor Diana Mutiara, MM CHE. Terima kasih Prof. Alhamdulillah dipertemukan di pagi yang cerah dengan suasana yang cerah. Tentu Bapak dan Ibu sekaligus kami perkenalkan, Prof ini adalah yang salah satu asesor yang membawa Politeknik Pariwisata Makassar untuk menjadi akreditasi baik sekali yang pertama. Yang saya hormati Profesor Parinya Nakpaton, PhD, Dekan Burapha University International College, Thailand. Good morning, Prof. Yang saya hormati Ibu Nia Niscaya, SH MBA, Deputi Bidang Kebijakan Strategi, Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif, Badan Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif Republik Indonesia. Yang saya hormati para peserta seminar internasional yang hadir baik secara offline maupun secara online. Yang saya hormati dan saya banggakan panitia penyelenggara seminar internasional yang kita laksanakan pada kesempatan ini, sekaligus saya memperkenalkan bahwa seminar internasional ini dikelola langsung oleh mahasiswa program studi manajemen konvensi dan perhelatan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam Indonesia maju, salam sehat untuk kita semua. Pertama dan utama, mari kita sama-sama memanjatkan puji dan syukur atas segala nikmatnya, sehingga Alhamdulillah di pagi yang cerah ini kita dipertemukan dalam keadaan sehat walafiat. Mengawali laporan ini, saya mengawali sebuah pantun pembuka. Ada timur dan selatan, ada barat dan juga utara. Selamat pagi, saya ucapkan kepada hadirin semua. Selamat datang dan terima kasih kepada para pemateri, pembicara dan peserta yang bekerja sama melalui seminar pariwisata yang bertemakan Rethinking Tourism. Dengan demikian, memikirkan kembali pariwisata, memperkuat kolaborasi dan kerjasama menuju kebangkitan pariwisata. Bu Sesmen dan hadirin yang saya hormati, tujuan daripada seminar ini yang pertama adalah sebagai kontribusi Politeknik Pariwisata Makassar dalam memperingati Hari Pariwisata Dunia dan Dies Natalis ke-31 Politeknik Pariwisata Negeri Makassar. Yang kedua, untuk berbagi visi untuk masa depan sektor pariwisata yang lebih berkelanjutan, inklusif dan tangguh. Yang ketiga, untuk diskusi memikirkan kembali pariwisata untuk pembangunan termasuk di bidang pendidikan dan pekerjaan, serta diskusi tentang dampak pariwisata dan peluang untuk pembangunan berkelanjutan. Yang selanjutnya adalah sebagai upaya pembentukan dan penyiapan sumber daya manusia pariwisata yang unggul. Dan sebagai bentuk praktek untuk mata kuliah manajemen konvensi dan perhelatan, khususnya semester 3, manajemen program studi bisnis konvensi dan perhelatan. Ibu Sesmen dan hadirin yang saya hormati, selanjutnya kami melaporkan bahwa peserta yang hadir pada seminar ini, yang pertama, peserta yang telah mendaftar secara online dari luar negeri sejumlah 124 orang dari 19 negara. Kemudian yang telah mendaftar secara online untuk Republik Indonesia sebanyak 786 orang. Sedangkan peserta yang mendaftar secara offline sebanyak 210 orang. Dengan demikian, bahwa seminar ini insya Allah akan diikuti sejumlah 1.210 orang. Ibu Sesmen dan hadirin yang saya hormati, setiap negara wisata yang luar biasa tidak dapat dibandingkan antara satu negara dengan negara lain. Oleh karena itu, untuk memperkuat kolaborasi dan kerjasama menuju kebangkitan pariwisata merupakan konsep yang tepat untuk diangkat dalam seminar ini. Kolaborasi dan kerjasama pengembangan pariwisata merupakan salah satu konsep pengembangan pariwisata yang sangat bermanfaat dan efektif untuk memiliki daya saing internasional. Pengembangan pariwisata, kolaborasi dan kerjasama perlu dilakukan penguatan dari semua pihak, termasuk melalui kajian-kajian penelitian, penguatan kapasitas masyarakat, networking, hingga pemasaran secara bersama-sama. Untuk itu, diperlukan peran berbagai pihak untuk mengoptimalkan perkembangan pariwisata Indonesia pada umumnya dan Sulawesi Selatan pada khususnya, dan bahkan kawasan Asia Pasifik. Untuk melanjutkan pengembangan pariwisata dengan kolaborasi bersama, pada tahun ini Politeknik Pariwisata mengadakan seminar internasional dengan tema Rethinking Pariwisata, memperkuat kolaborasi dan kerjasama menuju kebangkitan pariwisata dengan bekerja sama berbagai universitas baik dalam maupun luar negeri. Seminar internasional tahun ini diadakan dengan mempertimbangkan COVID-19, sehingga dilakukan secara hybrid, semoga dengan kolaborasi dan kerjasama dengan praktisi, akademisi, pemerhati pariwisata melalui seminar internasional 2022 ini mendapatkan rumusan untuk kebangkitan pariwisata kini maupun masa-masa yang akan datang. Bapak dan Ibu yang saya hormati, selanjutnya kami mohon kepada Ibu Datranda Niwayenggiri Atiani, MSc CHE, Sekretaris Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif, Sekretaris Utama Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif Republik Indonesia, untuk memberikan arahan, sambutan sekaligus membuka secara resmi pelaksanaan seminar ini. Selanjutnya, mewakili panitia, saya menyampaikan permohonan maaf atas ketidaksempurnaan kegiatan ini. Sebagai pantun penutup, jalan-jalan ke kota Makassar, tidak lupa membeli makanan. Demikian sambutan saya. Jika ada yang salah, mohon dimaafkan. Demikian, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sehat untuk kita semua.
That was the welcome address of the Director of Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar. Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Arifin. Please give applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia for a welcome address by virtual. Your Excellency, Ms. Niwayan Giri Atniani, time is yours.
Ibu Nia Niscaya SH MBA, Honorable Director of Tourism Polytechnic of Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, distinguished guests, all participants from 19 countries, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you on this important seminar, the International Tourism Seminar held by Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar with the theme Rethinking Tourism, Strengthening Collaboration and Togetherness Toward the Tourism Revival. This seminar is a part of seminar series conducted for World Tourism Day celebration, which its peak celebration will be conducted in Bali, the island of God, our main tourist destination, on 27 September 2022. As mentioned by the Director of Polytechnic, the seminar aiming to share vision, experiences, and thoughts of rethinking tourism on how to maintain and develop sustainable tourism through collaboration in this recovery phase in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a new form and trend in traveling and tourism development. Demand for quality and sustainable travel pattern is increasing. According to Sustainable Travel Trends Report 2022, there are 83% of international respondents said that sustainable travel is very important. And then 73% of young travelers mentioned that they are willing to pay higher prices for experiences and tourism products that are more sustainable. And then 62% of international visitors, they prefer accommodation that have been certified environmentally friendly. And 66% of international tourists are willing to pay higher prices for sustainable tourism products and experiences. This trend has encouraged us to improve our service and products in order to provide visitors with more authentic, quality, and sustainable experiences. And at the same time, we have to prepare mitigation action and initiatives to prevent them from climate change. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, tourism development goal is not only for the achievement of economic dimension, but also covering the strengthening of socio-cultural dimension, including the improvement of diverse activities in any smallest region or village, tourist length of stay, integrated local economy. For example, value chains and supply chains of food or agriculture products and market, as well as the environmental recovery. Therefore, I think we also need to improve and revise some strategies to reset and to redesign co-creation approach, new scheme and method in order the tourism development being more integrated and holistic with authenticity, uniqueness, differentiation, and locality products. This will offer and create more incredible experience value for visitors. Regenerative tourism will be a tourism model that brings solution for holistic and authentic product or experience, and at the same time will improve the quality of nature, culture, environment, and community itself. This tourism model encourages participation of tourists in the development of tourism through concrete action, including supporting philanthropies, movement of environmental action and cultural conservation, or any kind of voluntary initiative. This model has become trend or tourist demand according to Sustainable Travel Trends Report 2022, which states that 65% of travelers mentioned that they are more interested in authentic and local culture experiences. And 84% millennial traveler, they mentioned that they are willing to travel abroad being voluntary people to contribute for more positive impact in the visited destination. Therefore, regenerative tourism is very relevant in this tourism recovery phase. Ladies and gentlemen, in the development of quality and sustainable tourism, we are focusing on 4 aspects of development, namely sustainable tourism business management, long-term sustainable socio-economy, sustainable culture, and sustainable environment. In addition, we also support any kind of development with the spirit of adaptation, innovation, and collaboration that's involving all tourism stakeholders. We believe this approach will provide more flexible rooms and opportunities for the development of products, programs, or initiatives that are in line with regenerative development to support quality and sustainable tourism as the motor of national economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar, and I highly appreciate all speakers and participants of this international seminar. We are very grateful for insights, thoughts, and suggestions from the discussion in this seminar for better value of tourism sustainability. We do hope that the seminar will come up with very beneficial deliverable to support tourism recovery. Hopefully, all of us are always in God's blessing. And finally, I declare the International Tourism Seminar on Rethinking Tourism, Strengthening Collaboration and Togetherness Toward Tourism Revival is officially open. I thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om.
That was the welcome address by virtual of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of Republic of Indonesia. Thank you very much, Ms. Niwayan Giri Adnyani. Give applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the first session of this seminar will be moderated by Mr. Muhammad Arfin Muhammad Salim. The Honorable Mr. Muhammad Arfin Muhammad Salim, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good morning everybody. Sawadika. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you very much to the MC who invited me to be a moderator for today. And for this session, we are going to start our sessions about the that will be delivered by Ibu Nia Niscaya, because Ibu Nia will have another meeting after these sessions. So the topic that will be delivered by Ibu Nia is about the tourism development tourism development policy. So I think this is related to rethinking tourism as one of our main topic for today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk a little bit about Ibu Nia. Ibu Nia has explained by Pak Director this morning that She is Deputy of Strategic Policy, Ministry of Tourism and Economic Creative, so I think. And then also before she was also as Deputy or Marketing in Tourism, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a limited time for Ibu Nia, it's very busy, and then because after this we have a meeting with the Ministry of Marine and Infestations, I think, Ibu Nia. So I think I'd like to invite Ibu Nia to present his session for today. Time is yours, Ibu Nia.
Here we are, finally. Yes, sorry, because I was mute by the organizer. So thank you, moderator. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So it is great to be here with you all. I'm supposed to be there, but I'm so sorry I cannot join with you due to my tight schedule in Jakarta, so I could not leave the city. So distinguished Professor Farinya and also Professor Mutiara, I believe must be his pearl from South. So it is great to be here also with you. If someone will share my presentation. Thank you, Pak Arifin, Director of Tourism Poltek Par Makassar, and also I think Pak Bambang, my colleague in Makassar, who proposed myself to be here to share with you about rethinking tourism. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the policy of tourism and creative economy sector development. Does anyone can help me to share the material?
Operator, yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share.
Thank you. Yes, there will be 3 things that I'm gonna share with you. Oh, if my team cannot have access to share
Give access
the
to
material, can the host let him to share? Reza. Yeah.
Pak Reza.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Share already. No, this one.
Are you okay, Reza?
Will be shared by Pak Reza, Pak Iqbal.
Yeah, I think
Give
you may have
access.
to look.
Give access to Pak Reza.
You may
Pak
have
Reza,
to look
Pak
on
Levi.
the chat column. Okay, there are 3 things that I would like to share. Is about the trend of global tourism, and then the second one about the tourism performance in Indonesia, and then strategic policy of the tourism and creative economy development. What's wrong with the share? Otherwise, I will keep talking. Yeah, I hope you will. You can follow everyone. Okay. Actually, I have the data
Please.
here.
Yep.
Ajak nih, what's wrong sih?
Okay, Pak Reza, is this okay? I think you can share.
I cannot, Pak. He
Tidak
said,
bisa.
I cannot.
Nggak bisa. Oh, I can share from here, Bu Nia.
Ya, Jak, tolong kirimin ke moderatornya deh. I'm so sorry about this. Oke, I'll send it to Pak Arifin deh kalau gitu. Tapi
Okay,
bahasa
Pak Reza,
nih.
you can share, Pak Reza. Can you try again, Pak Reza?
Okay, otherwise I will send it to Pak Arifin, but this is in Indonesian version, but no problem, I can translate after directly. Okay. Oh, here we are.
Yes.
Finally, he can. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, thank you, Pak Reza. See, he just, in a few minutes, translate into in English version. Thank you, Reza. Yeah. Okay, three things that I'm gonna to share with you is global tourism trend, Indonesia tourism performance, and also strategy of tourism and creative economic development. Right now about global tourism trend. Next, okay, the data this just shows that how international tourist arrival from January to May 2022 has reached 250 million arrivals. It grows 225% compared to the same period, because I think last year almost many countries closed the border, including Indonesia. But if you look at the trend this time, it seems that tourism has already restart. And then Asia Pacific region was the lowest growth compared to other regions by decreasing minus 94% last year. This is due to by China and Australia, which most contributed to the region, and there was a close border. Even China until now still relatively we call close border with the very restricted regulation if they go out the country. Okay, and Australia just started this March, but you can see that's why the Asia Pacific region, the growth is, the minus is very high compared to others. Next. Yeah, this is the tourism trend. Oh, this is, sorry, in Bahasa still there. The trend of global tourism. Tourism recovery has sustained along with the ease of restriction of tourist arrivals in various countries that increase international tourist confidence, of course. The Europe is the highest recovery of international tourist arrivals because they really, I think, the most restricted regulation to enter the Europe. Next. This is the paradigm of the global tourism during COVID. Before, people will see, wow, the place is so crowded, viral destination, and people want to go there. But now, people think, how is the tourism carrying up as capacity? So now they don't want to have overcrowded of tourist arrivals. And then from mass tourism or in group, they tend to travel more on individual travelers or small group where they feel confident if they travel with someone they are very know exactly their lifestyle, they are healthy, because this COVID health becomes the first conscious people to choose the destination or to do traveling. And then about price and affordability, people will very easy to tempt like, oh, discounted price, cheap, and then affordable price. But with COVID, people will think, how is the health protocol? Is there any certification? How is the case of COVID there? And then about the distance, it was long haul travel. People tend to travel within short to medium haul. And then in terms of the frequency, before people tend to visit more frequent and stay shorter, but at the moment people less frequency but they stay longer. So I think the destination will get a tourism receipt more than previous because people tend to stay longer. Next. Yeah. The Rethinking tourism, I think, thank you to Travel Talk and also I think UNWTO. With this situation, how is the tourism supposed to be, or people to choose, like from city to countryside, because people don't want to be a bit scared or feel insecure if they are with a lot of people. So people try to shift from city to countryside, focus on destination which promote outdoor activities and then sustainable. And I think this strategy will also play an important role to cope with over-tourism capacity. And then tweak tourism policy, think about the strategy long-term, which over or prepare diverse destination, and then to manage the tourism visitors. Like what we do at the moment is we really want to finish the 5 super priority destinations to give more choices to the customer. People, I believe, knows Bali, right? But now we give at the moment, because Indonesia is so huge. So we promote the 5 super destinations first, namely Lake Toba in North Sumatra, and then Borobudur and surrounding in Java, Central Java, and then Mandalika in West Nusa Tenggara, and then Likupang in North Sulawesi, and Labuan Bajo in East Nusa Tenggara. This is the priority, so government puts so much effort at the moment to finish the infrastructure, and then we train the people, and then also manage the ecosystem of the industry. Then switching to digital economy, where they transform mobile, make use of mobile technology, because since COVID, people try to avoid something touch, or we prefer to have touchless things. So all the information can be accessed via digital. And then in terms of growth, is more inclusive, and then broader, not only the economy, but also the environment, and also the all segment. We got women, men, so that's what we call inclusive growth. And sustainable tourism. I think Ibu Giri also mentioned about the sustainable tourism. This is about the proportionately between the economic benefit and then the environment and social and culture development. This is what we call rethinking tourism. Next. This is the message from the president that now tourism sector has to transform after 2 years hit by pandemic. Before pandemic, tourism sector became the second largest of foreign exchange earner by contributing 10 billion US dollars. So this is the right time. We have to push our tourism sector. This is message from the president. Next slide, please. This is the growth of international arrivals. The Asia Pacific has reached, as I mentioned, minus 94.2, but lucky, thanks God, Indonesia was the lowest decrease among ASEAN countries. If you look at the data, 2020, yes, a bit better than 2021, because the pandemic hit in March, the border closed in March for us, so we still receive good numbers from China in January, I think, yeah, January, February, we still got the good numbers, but afterwards, the border closed until 2021, so this is the number of 2021. But if compared to other countries, we are doing well. Next. In terms of the receipt, yes, we don't get so much high, because the number that we receive mostly is cross-border, where they were not stay longer. But still, it can move the economic development in surrounding or the border. Next. This is about the vaccination. Indonesia, I think, is the biggest population in ASEAN countries. So thanks to the Ministry of Health, we are still struggling to encourage people to get vaccination, especially for booster. Next. Now, I'm going to share with you about the Indonesia tourism performance. This is the target and achievement in tourism and creative economy sectors. Our KPI is about tourism revenue, contributing to GDP, and then export of creative economic products, added value of tourism creative, international tourist arrivals, domestic, and also our competitiveness index in TTCI, which now has been changed by TTDI from World Economic Forum. if you look at this is the unit and then the target 2021 and the performance, it's doing well. I think if you look at the target, so like for example, for domestic, we reach about 603 million movement, especially in Java Island, because Java is the most populated and then the accessibility, it's almost connected by highway. So I think it really relates with the previous information. People tend to travel more individual or more small group. So this is with the highway, the infrastructure, people choose to travel with the families, with relatives, overland. Next. And TTI also, I would like to share that our target is in the rank 39 or 36, but we got 32. Now the challenge is how we push for next year or maintain at least this ranking. It's very challenging because it involves 22 ministries in Indonesia, and Ministry of Tourism becomes the coordinator. So coordination is really challenging in this position. Next. This is the tourist arrivals. So look at the numbers from the statistical perspective. From January to July has reached 1.2. I believe Thailand is more forward because you more advanced in terms of regulation, seamless regulation for tourists, and also you open far from us. But always Thailand in this leading in terms of tourist arrivals and foreign exchange. So congratulations for Thailand, and we should learn from you. And then in terms of growing, 1,434.4% in the same period compared to last year. This is the top 5 market coming from Australia. Maybe this is also the close geographically. They are very close with Bali, mostly Australian coming to Bali to Indonesia, and then Lombok. Singapore, USA, and then India. Even USA, India, we don't have direct flight, but thanks to USA and India because it be a part of 5 top market, and Malaysia. Mostly the 3 countries as neighboring countries. Next. This is thanks also to money.co.uk. Indonesia was named most beautiful country in the world. This is a good branding for Indonesia, so we have to make use of it. Next. This is the TTDI, as I mentioned to you, that before we were in the rank 42, and then last year on the rank 32. So we jumped to 12-point ranking, and then this is I think Indonesia is the only country has reached the leapfrog for this rank. Next. And also based on the TTDI, the Indonesia positioned at the 4th rank in travel and tourism policy and enabling conditions. I think this shows that we implement the policy that can gain international confidence because we can build the safety and comfortable of the visitors, especially in terms of protocol. Next. Yeah, in terms of ranking brands also, brand strategy rating based on WEF, Indonesia had got score 5.6. So this is with the limited resources, we can optimize our communication strategy and using the platform. So this is the result of our brand strategy rating. We cannot be like other countries, put the electronic with massive electronic media with massive communication, but we have to really make use of our budget optimum and then make use of our network and our own social media to optimize the communication to build awareness of our destination. Next. Next, yeah. Now is the third part of my presentation is strategy of tourism and creative development, strategy policy. Next. Oh, this is in Sri Bahasa, sorry. This is the direction from the national planning body that our policy has to be based on the productivity, inclusivity, and sustainable. But we have to also look at the strategic issues on the sustainability, competitiveness, added value, digitalization, productivity, and also we have to consider about key message from the minister about the growth of economy, creating job opportunities, the policy, which is the right policy, the right direction, and also the time. And we have to know what's the needs of the people. And then we have to also consider our KPI on the GDP, on the tourist arrivals international, the export. So with this, so our direction for the development, tourism and creative economy is development, tourism and creative economy, which is based on the quality, resilient, and sustainable. Yeah. This is the framework of the tourism development that quality, resilient, and sustainable. We have to look at the pillar based on the law of tourism, which is 4 pillars: destination, industry, institution, and marketing. So for the destination, our strategy has to make sure 3A things in the destination. Or in other words, how we can make it one place becomes a destination if they can build or fulfill 3A, namely attraction, accessibility, amenity, and also managing the destination and also the visitors. The output is tourist experience. And then for industry, how we manage the industry, and that investment and financial access. The output is supply chain, and in terms of institution, about the human resource, society, and I'm going to translate hubungan antar lembaga. Okay, institution relation. And then in terms of marketing, use the strategy DOT, how we mix or comply with destination, origination, or market and time. So we have to know the DOT, and then BAS is about branding, advertising, and selling, and then travel pattern and creating event. The output is awareness and of course sales. Our target KPI for tourism is about foreign tourists, domestic tourists, devisa, PDB or GDP, and then tourism worker in tourism. And for creative economy, it's about worker in creative economy, PDB or GDP, and also export of creative economic product. This is the framework of the development, tourism, and creative economy with the purpose on the top. Next slide. This is how to just want to describe how my job is to orchestrate all the deputies in the ministry. So if you look at the left side, this is the value that is mandated from the planning, national planning body. First, about tourism and creative, sustainable tourism and creative economy. So my job is I have to make a national planning for tourism until 2040. And then structuring the policy. How about Deputy 2? It means they involve for the human resources. It's like new skilling resources, green and sustainable tourism. And then how is Deputy destination? This is what D1 to 3 is. It shows the Deputy. D1 is about strategic policy. D2 is in charge for human resources and international relation or national relation institution, I mean. And then D3 is about Deputy in charge for destination. D4 is Deputy in charge for industry. And then D5 is Deputy in charge for marketing. D6 is Deputy in charge for event and also product. D7 is in charge for digital economy. So this is to describe how they contribution their program into the values that has been set up by the national planning body. The values is first, as I mentioned to you, paragraph or tourism and creative economy sustainable. And then the second one is about competitiveness. The third one is creating added value. Fourth value is transforming into digital. And the fifth value is enhancing productivity. Next. Now, where are we? For us, at the moment, 2022, 23 is recovery. To how to speed up the enhancing the productivity. So we quick wins is to enhance the quality of destination, especially 5 super priority destination, and also how we issue or collaborate with other ministries to make seamless regulation for foreign tourists and also domestic, and how to develop ecosystem of tourism and creative economy to speed up the economic development in Indonesia. Yes, this is the timeline actually. So I think the phase is the way we restart at the moment may determine our position in the global market competition. So restart faster. What's the indication is slow virus containment. And then restricted regulation must be relaxed, and then gaining trust and building confidence. Now restart faster and recover stronger. I think that is my end of presentation. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Give applause to Ibu Nia. I think it's a very interesting presentation because Ibu Nia will have another meeting. So I think, do you still have time, Ibu Nia, to have any questions maybe from the participants? I'd like to give a little bit kinds of highlight of Ibu Nia's presentations. It's about the new paradigm of tourism. One is attraction, segment, and confidence, distance, and frequent. And in terms of rethinking tourism, also we have from Ibu Nia that from city to countryside, the weak policies switching to digital and inclusive growth and sustainable. I think this is the standpoint of Ibu Nia's explained. And also tourism policies in development. So one is productivity, inclusive and sustainable. So I think this is all. Before we go to the next presenters, I would like to invite the questions from the participant from the floor here offline and also from the online, Ibu Nia. So hopefully that you still have a time to answer the questions, if any, from the participants. Yeah, any questions from the offline, Ibu Surya Dewi? Yeah, hopefully Ibu Nia is still out there, then you can answer the questions. Okay, Ibu Dewi, time is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Bunia. Saya mencoba ingin mempertegas kembali dari apa yang Ibu sampaikan tadi. Ada beberapa poin yang menjadi perhatian dari kementerian kita untuk kembali memikirkan pariwisata kita supaya bisa kembali berjaya. But saya ingin bertanya kepada terkait dengan program dan fokus yang sifatnya strategis dari kementerian kita. Mungkin sekedar men-stressing kembali Ibu. So what do you think is currently a strategic program and policy that we urgently need to do after 2 years? We were hit by the pandemic and made us have to rethink the best strategy so that our tourism can be victorious again. Maybe ada poin yang menurut Ibu lebih mendesak dan merupakan prioritas utama dari kementerian kita untuk bisa kita gunakan sebagai strategi terbaik untuk kembali membuat pariwisata kita bangkit kembali setelah kita dihantam habis-habisan oleh pandemi ini. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you, Ibu Dewi. Yeah, I think Ibu Nia, would you like to answer directly, or we collect the questions from the other, because we have another from online also. Ibu Nia, I'll read for you. Yeah, how Indonesia's strategy in expedite recovery national tourism. Does the Minister of Tourism also develop sustainable tourism standards and socialize them in each region? This is from Mejiro Laksono, Ibu Nia. I think time's you to answer the two questions, Ibu Nia. Bu Nia.
Maaf Pak, saya tidak bisa unmute karena by the organizer they make it mute, so I cannot press my button unmute.
Okay. So
yes, Ibu, I think I will answer directly Pak ya, because it's to avoid redundance the question. Yeah, Ibu Dewi, thank you so much. I think what I mentioned before, what's the strategic things? Of course, Ibu, we have to come up with the policy which in line with the trend. As I mentioned to you, like our KPI is foreign arrivals. So what the strategic policy is to make regulation more relaxed. This is the way how we restart the economy after pandemic. It's first, the strategic things must be relaxing the policy. You can see, Ibu, when the local government put, like, for example, restriction, PSBB, you know, social restriction, people cannot go everywhere. The malls was closed. See, you can see the local economic is very downtown turn. And then when the government, the policy relaxing the regulation, people start moving, and then the economic is waking up. You can see, especially for international tourists, Ibu, when the government give the regulation or issue the regulation on quarantine policy, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, you can see when there is no quarantine at all, then we can see the statistics is going up really. And our ministry as a government body in charge for tourism, we really collaborate with other ministries, with the national COVID, how we approach them, give the proof, give the information, how other countries are doing in terms of policy. Then thank God they can be realistic that we need the economy, we need arrivals from foreign tourist arrivals. it means regulation first. The second one, in terms of supporting the industry, we can see from the economic creative product really clearly, like the government giving them the upskilling product about the marketing, how to manage the social media, and then we facilitated them be on board their product in the marketplace. So this is the strategic thing that we did for the industries. I think I hope it will cover the question.
Okay.
Pak Moderator, I think we can have a look on the column chat there.
Yeah.
May I? Wow.
Okay, please, Bunia.
Yeah, okay. I saw from Pak Laksono ya tadi ya. Hang on. So sorry. Okay. From Pak Mejiro Laksono. How Indonesia strategy in expedite recovery national tourism. I think I have already informed that first is about Pak Sandi always mentioned this about the quick response, collaborate, must be innovative, digitalized. This is a part of the expedite recovery national tourism. And I think from the data that I showed to you, it shows that how our performance, especially in tourist arrivals, foreigners, and also domestic, if we didn't do any strategic policy, I don't think we can reach that figure. And then the second one, does the Ministry of Tourism and also develop sustainable tourism standards and socialize them in each region? Yes, Pak, actually we are working on it with Bappenas, a planning body. And now we have to give like indicator what does sustainable means and how the measurement that we're gonna use there. Of course, we have to have a look certain key factors. First, the experience or the satisfaction from the visitors, and then how is the benefit that the local community got it, and then how is the role of tourism sectors to other sectors. We are working on it, working with the Bappenas. Maybe we will finish it within 2 months, and of course we will have events socialized to the local government, because don't forget that the attraction belongs to the local government in each region. We are from the central government. The function is like guidance, coordinate, facilitate. So we need to collaborate together. All the stakeholders cannot be only the government, all the stakeholders, also the communities, if we want to succeed in this program. And don't forget, this is the trend of international or global tourism. We have to go on sustainable everything. Otherwise, people will leave our destination. And then from Pak Andung, something that cannot be accepted with common sense. What about when the tourism sector wants to raise price? Is it from adversity after being hit by COVID ini? What's the question? We see the government raise the price. Oh, I see. The price. And a pretty fantastic number. Visit can because of soaring price. Okay, Pak. I think I think this case is under studying, Pak. Then let's see what's the result. Hopefully we will have the best result on it. How we proportionately or new equilibrium between the development of local economic, national economic, and also the environmental issue. Not only the environmental, but we have to also have a look on the social culture issues also. What else? How can you make sure that all stakeholders implement that new paradigm development by Kemenparekraf? Okay, but again, our our position is encouraging, you know, facilitate, regulated. We have to work together with the local government. Usually, in other countries, if you want to law, how do you say, law enforcement, to do law enforcement, it relates to the license part. That's why we have to work together with local government, which has the right to issue the license. This is the way how we manage or make sure that the regulation is in place. So we cannot stand alone. We have to work together with the local government. And then from Pak Wim ya, adakah strategi terbaik untuk dalam meningkatkan kunjungan wisatawan sesama negara ASEAN? Okay. Yes, Pak, this is very challenging, but there is possibility. For example, with Thailand, we can work together. Thailand is the highest recipe in terms of tourist receipt or numbers. Then we can work together as ASEAN as a single destination. If you look at the source of tourists coming from the north part of the globe, you know, and ASEAN countries is a bit south, then especially this is for long haul, we can create a single destination as ASEAN countries, for example, from Bangkok and then go to Bali or Pattaya to Bali. It's like twin destination. And Thailand, the national carrier or so many international flights coming to Thailand, then we can offer to the tourists to get more experience while you are visiting Asia by having twin destination, Thailand and Indonesia. And also it can go with Singapore. We have done actually the industry, it goes to industry. Singapore is the national carrier, they fly everywhere, they receive many international visitors. Then we can also do together twin destination, Singapore with Makassar, for example, right? Because they have connectivity. Don't forget, talking about destination is about accessibility. Singapore has broadened accessibility, then there is possibility to work together, Singapore and Makassar as a twin destination. You have to offer the customer which attraction that Singapore doesn't have it. And I believe even with Thailand, maybe we are the same beach, but we have different culture. So this can be a good combination to enrich the experience of the tourists. I think that is my suggestion. And then from Pak Fahmi, bagaimana Ibu melihat kedudukan ekonomi kreatif dalam penguatan dan pendukungan pengembangan pariwisata Indonesia? Apa yang bisa dikontribusikan oleh ekonomi kreatif? Okay, creative economy is pandemic winner actually during the COVID-19 where border was closed, but not all the subsector. As we know, that creative economy consists of 17 subsectors like fashion, souvenirs, and then culinary is the main contributor for economic creative. And this is really can be a complementary for tourism activities. This is what I mentioned is how the contribution or the position as creative economy to tourism. What I can say that creative economy can enrich the tourism destination. I think that is the contribution. And then from Rati, I'm going to rejoin. Oh, sorry. I think good morning. Oh, okay. Ibu Lydia, I want to ask about BBM. What is your opinion, ma'am, about the increased fee? Okay, now we are conducting a study and also survey the impact of BBM to the tourism sector. But we have 3 examples, I think, during 2015 when the oil prices increased, of course, there's impact, especially on the transportation and also other industries like food and beverages. I got the data actually from the Statistic Bureau, where they use the input and output method. Then we can have look at the 30% of increase of, let me get the file, otherwise I'm afraid, yeah, because it's talking about numbers. Hang on. Aja di mana ya bahan, sebentar ya, Rapim. Hang on, sorry. CCN, PDF final. Aja, can you send me the ini ya, bahan Rapim? Oh, here ya. Okay, here ya. I got this. Yeah, I have the data. Okay. Yeah, in 2000. Okay, in 2015, there was increase also of BBM, and the increase of 30% of the BBM, it give impact on this transportation increase for airplane. It's 32%. For, I think this is the highest impact of the BBM increase on the airplane or air ticket. And then for ship is what, 26%. So our study shows like this, and we will explore further, and we're gonna have a meeting with the national statistical body. And then we also have a look on the study in 2004 in the US brand hotels, that the BBM, it increased BBM 30%, will reducing the demand for hotels by 5.4%. So this is the data, the impact of BBM to the occupancy rate of hotel, because the demand will reduce up to 5.4%. And then look at also the statistical analysis of impact oil prices shocks on tourism in 2016, with the BBM will have impact on the spending. With 30% increase on BBM will reduce the tourism spending by 0.35%. So overall, I would say that the increase of BBM have an impact on tourism industry, on the accommodation or occupancy rate of hotels, because they will reduce the demand for staying hotel, and also the spending, and increase the price of the certain industries like transportation. We are working on it, but hopefully we will finish our study in the second week of October. That is my comment on the price BBM. Okay, from journey plan.
Ibu
Yep.
Nia, because the time
Yep.
is
Okay.
over, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the questions will be collected and sent to you, then it will be...
Sure. I will, write it down. Thank you, Pak.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ibu Nia. Give applause to Ibu Nia. Terima kasih, Ibu. Hopefully that we can come to Makassar to join our offline seminar, you know. So I think because it is, actually we prepare for you to be on offline, but because you are very busy woman, so I think we do it online. Hopefully the next time it will be offline. Thank you again, Ibu Nia, and very sorry if I have any mistakes. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so we come to the next presenter. I would like to invite Professor Dr. Dina Mutiara Lemi, APAR. That will be parallel with the Assistant Professor Parinya Nakpatom from Thailand, Burapa University. So, Mr. Parinya, are you still there? Hopefully that we can make it in parallel. So, I'd like to invite first Ibu Prof to come to the stage. Give applause to Ibu Prof. Dina Mutiara Lemi. Yes. Yep. And next, I'd like also to invite Assistant Professor Parinya Nakpatom. So we'll conduct the session in parallel session. So. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so before we please Ibu Prof. Dina, I would like to introduce him first. She is a professor in tourism. She is still young, you know. She was born in 1974, I think. That it's too young to be professor, you know. Hopefully that will be influence me to be professor also, Prof. Yes, she is a Dean of Tourism, University of Pelita Harapan. She has a lot of publications, you know, and also she has a lot of kinds of, organization that like Hildik Tepari. He was the secretary of Hildik Pari, and also any kinds of book that has published. So hopefully that we guarantee that the professor is still young because has any productions in terms of publications. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, and the next speaker will be Professor Parinya Nakpatom, PhD. She is also she's from Thailand, Brava University. She got his PhD in Thailand, and also master in hospitality in Australia, and also bachelor in Thailand, Brapa. He is Dean of Brapa University International College, particularly for international, international management, he is Health and Wellness Management Dean in Brapa. I think will be corrected by Professor Nakpatom. So I think, well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite first Ibu Professor Dina Mutiara Lemi to present his presentation, so material for today. The topic is sustainable tourism. I think it's related to the previous material that has delivered by Ibu Nia. It is very interesting to conduct to link about the material, and also after Ibu Prof will be coming to Prof Nakpatom. So time is yours, Ibu Prof Lemi.
Thank you so much, Pak Arifin, as the moderator. Pak Arifin, sorry for the moderator. And first of all, I really want to thank Bapak Arifin as the director of Makassar Tourism Polytechnic, and of course the Civitas Academica of Makassar Tourism Polytechnic for having me here. So it is really an honor to be invited in such a prestigious international seminar. And I would like to also say my greetings to Ibu Sesmen, Ibu Giri, Ibu Nia, and my fellow speaker from Burapa University. So when we talk about rethinking tourism, yeah, as our topic for this year, for World Tourism Day, I choose this topic, sustainable tourism. I always like to go to the basic, Bapak, Ibu, and all students. Why? Because we have to start from the basic. From Ibu Nia, we already been updated about the strategy and the positive performance of Indonesia. Yeah, even though we have gone through such a very hard tribulation in these 2 years, but still Indonesia is showing positive performance and achieving our target. So while we are celebrating our achievement during this tribulation time, let's go back to the basic. about sustainable tourism. So, Bapak Ibu, sustainable tourism is not a new concept. It is not a new concept. When I was still student, yeah, like the students who conduct this seminar, in 1992, yeah, now, you already see my CV. I was born in 1974. Yeah, so in 1992, I was a Diploma 4 students in Bandung. My lecturers already talked about sustainable tourism. So it is not a new concept. However, Indonesia as a country, it's quite late in implementing it. Yeah, we've been seriously talking about sustainable tourism when the late Pak Gede Ardike talking in the workshop of UNWTO in Spain, talking about sustainable tourism. Then starting 2010, Indonesia is serious about this. Pak Ardike, Pak Frans Teguh is one of the some of the initiators, yeah, to really implement it in Indonesia. Yeah, since 2010. So, what is sustainable tourism, Bapak Ibu? Yeah, and then we're going to talk about why we have to implement it. Just a brief introduction. Yeah, after we gone through the very shakening COVID-19 event, when as a tourism stakeholders, we see how our industry is highly impacted with this COVID-19. Number of tourists dropped down, really the hotel closed down, yeah, all of the tourism stakeholders crying for help. Because our industry cannot do anything when we cannot do traveling. While during COVID-19, traveling is highly restricted. And the lesson learned from that is we really have to prepare a risk management. Yeah, something that sometimes and mitigation, yeah, something that we missed out. And not only that, yeah, sustainable tourism is realized as something that have to be done. We cannot just plan on it anymore, but really we have to implement it. Yeah, in each of our role. Yeah, whether you are a student, whether you are a professor, whether you are a business person in tourism, you have to start implement sustainable tourism. So, what is sustainable tourism actually? Yeah, by definition, it is something that leads to the management of multiple resources in such a way, yeah, so we are managing multiple resources in such a way that can meet the balance between economic, social, and aesthetic needs. Yeah, and then it is also thinking about how to maintain the needs of the current stakeholders and the future stakeholders. I learned about one definition about sustainable tourism, that actually we are not inheriting our resources, whether it is natural, cultural, yeah, or man-made resources from our ancestors, but we are borrowing it from the future generation. So our way of thinking have to be changed. We are borrowing from the future generation, from the next generations. So because we are borrowing it, then we have to take care, yeah, what we borrow in such a way so we can give it back in a good conditions. Yeah. So sustainable tourism is about managing multiple resources in such a way. So the term "such a way," yeah, implies to a good planning, strategic planning. Next. And then sustainable tourism is also talking about development that meets the needs of today's traveler while protecting and fostering opportunities for the future. So if you learn sustainable tourism, sometimes we see that, oh, we cannot do this, we cannot do that in the name of conservation. Yeah, but is it really like that? It makes tourism is not fun anymore. Actually, it is not 100% like that. Yeah, because sustainable tourism also talk about the needs of today's travelers. The needs of today's travelers is also to get value, to be happy, yeah, and get high positive experience while they are doing traveling. And then fostering opportunities for the futures. Again, we are borrowing from the next generation. Yeah, so we have to keep our resources well. And sustainable tourism is also talking about harmony. It's talking about harmony, Bapak Ibu. So when we talk about harmony, yeah, we have to be very careful in balancing every aspect of tourism. Yeah. Again, I always want to give basic, yeah, go to the foundation again. Because foundational is very important before we start, yeah, to do planning, before we start to do implementation. Okay, can go to the next slide. So why is it important, Bapak Ibu? Why sustainable tourism is important? We see from Ibu Nia's presentation, yeah, before, that sustainable tourism is being mentioned for several times. Yeah, it is our way to do tourism business in the future. Yeah, next. Okay. Why is it important? Because the world is changing, Bapak Ibu. The world is changing. Yeah, we are dealing with climate change. It's not something to anticipate anymore. We are already late. We are already in it. So if you do not do the tourism in a sustainable way, I don't know what will happen. And never think that I'm only 1%, what can I do? Yeah, you can do much, Bapak Ibu. Yeah, I stayed in Aston Hotel Makassar and I see that they already implement good things. Reducing plastic, using water jug instead of mineral water in plastic. That is one good way, Bapak Ibu. Start something. Yeah. For the students, what can you do in a personal level? We always heard about reduce, reuse, recycle. From the three, the most important thing is reduce. Do not think about reuse, do not think about recycle, but reduce. Yeah, that is important because you are the one who's going to live in the future. Me, I already about to be 50. Yeah, if God still give me 20 years ahead, that's a blessing. But I don't know. We don't know. But the future is yours, yes, students. So you are the one who have to do and implement the sustainable tourism, starting from the love of environment. Yeah. For me, I start to do, yeah, my role. For example, if I stay for only 2 nights, I never change my towel. I never ask to change the linen. Just leave it. Yeah. And then I always turn off the electricity in the room of the hotel. Yeah. Start from yourself. Okay. So if we see in the macro view, it means a lot. Can you imagine if 100% doing it consistently, how many energy we can save, how many plastic, yeah, we can avoid. Only 100%. What if millions of persons doing it? Yeah. Okay, the world is changing. Water resources, food production. Food production is another thing. Do not waste your food. Yeah, our culture, we always think about if we go to a party, an event, a banquet, yeah, we want to provide much food. Waste is okay as long as we can save our face. We do not want our guests saying that in that party they do not have enough money, they cannot provide enough food. But actually it's a food waste. If today we can still eat well, we can still choose our food, it's a blessing, Bapak, Ibu, and anak-anak semua. Yeah, so never waste your food, because in other part, we're not talking about other country. We're talking about Indonesia. Many of Indonesians are also still struggling to know what they will eat today. So never waste your food. It is also a way of doing sustainable tourism. Yeah, because if we save our food, then it means we do not have to open many paddy rice field. It means we do not have to cut our forest. So the implication is long. This is the way of how we think about sustainability, Bapak Ibu. Do not see only have a myopic point of view, only seeing like 100 meters in front of you, but we have to think in a long term. What will happen to this world? What will happen to the next generation? Yeah, and for the young students here, you are the one who's going to be the future leaders, and you are the one who's going to be in the future. Yeah, so we have to do and start now. And then digitalization, automation, AI, blockchain, yeah, the changes in travel behavior. This is why we need sustainable tourism for harmony, balance, yeah, management. Next. So the importance of sustainable tourism, yeah, in a pragmatic way, because sustainable tourism can increase regional income, it can create jobs and improve skills, yeah, improving community business in surrounding village and business supporter, and multiplier effect to other tourism business. So this is a pragmatic considerations. Yeah, it is still important, pragmatic, because without this pragmatic aspect, yeah, people, it is harder to get people to want to implement this concept. Yeah, next. And we need sustainable tourism because of our environment. Yeah, we have to think about environmental carrying capacity and environmental capacity. Yeah, when you graduate, yeah, as a tourism business stakeholder, I really hope that what you have in mind is a sustainable way of thinking. Yeah. You have an opportunity to open a business, but you know that it will be a burden to an environment. So I really hope that you make a wise choice, wise decision. Yeah, sustainable way of thinking. Next. And then why Indonesia have to implement sustainable tourism? Because Indonesia's destination are our future strength. Yeah, I heard one of an Indonesian conglomerate saying that in 5 years, the destinations in the eastern part of Indonesia will be booming. So I believe that because he is a conglomerate. Conglomerate usually will have a vision, yeah, in seeing business. Yeah, then you have to prepare, especially you are in Makassar, the eastern part of Indonesia. And then a big part of Indonesia tourism is a community-based tourism. Then it's very matched with the spirit of sustainable tourism, a tourism that can be beneficial for all of its stakeholders. And then sustainable tourism gives balance and harmony from the not only economic, yeah, but also culture, which we have a very rich culture in Indonesia. Yeah, this morning, Pak Director say that the dances, the beautiful dances, yeah, that is being performed this morning is a way to preserve the culture. It's very beautiful. Yeah, and I just realized that actually I'm wondering why the four dancers using different costume. Well, Pak Director said it's representing the four tribes, yeah, of Sulawesi Selatan. So it's beautiful, yeah. So it's in sustainable tourism we are balancing it between the culture, economic, and environment. Then it is important for Indonesia to implement it. Next. And when we move to the global level, yeah, we are talking about SDGs. I'm sure that Poltekpar Makassar already always convey the message about SDGs. Yeah, something that we also have obligation, yeah, to contribute so the SDGs can be reached in 2030. Yeah, next. We already know about Sustainable Development Goals, yeah, the consensus that brought by United Nations, yeah, and agreed by the members of United Nations, 17 goals that wants to be reached, yeah, in 2030. Even though in 2020 and 2002 we are shaken by COVID-19, but it doesn't make the effort, yeah, to reach this SDGs lesson, yeah, by all the stakeholders. Next. Okay. Sustainable Development Goals have its target, but how does tourism can contribute, yeah, to SDGs? Next. There are three areas. Yeah, actually, sustainable tourism can contribute to the whole SDGs, but there are three areas specifically that can be directly contributed by tourism. First, yeah, is about decent work, because tourism, yeah, through tourism, we can create, yeah, various jobs, various works that is decent. Yeah, the name decent here is really countering back, yeah, the image about tourism. You know, the image about tourism until 1990s is sand, sun, and sex. But it is not the kind of tourism that now we are developing in Indonesia. We are developing a tourism that is respectful and respect to the humanity and with dignity. Bapak Ibu. Yeah, that's why we can create various decent jobs in tourism. And then responsible consumption and productions. Through tourism, we can stimulate how we can be environmental friendly, yeah, how we, through gastronomy tourism, for example, how we stimulate people, yeah, to produce and consume, yeah, the food that originally come from that area. So in the long term, it will reduce the carbon footprints because of the transportation of the food. Yeah. So actually, I can talk about this for days, yeah, about sustainable tourism, because so many implications. Yeah. But there are so many things that we can do regarding responsible consumption, yeah, and productions in tourism. And then life below water, marine tourism, Bapak, Ibu, and students. It is also something that can be contributed by sustainable tourism, 2 SDGs. Yeah, we can utilize our resources wisely from the marine areas, yeah, which is becoming one of the special interest tourism that is popular among the tourists. Next. What about Indonesia? I will just talk briefly about this. Yeah, this is sharing information to all of you. Next. So Indonesia already have a framework. We call it STDEV strategy, Sustainable Tourism Development Strategy. Next. STDEV consists of 5 elements. First, sustainable tourism destination, and then sustainable tourism industry, sustainable tourism marketing, sustainable tourism observatory, and then sustainable tourism certification. From the opening remarks from Ibu Sesmen, yeah, Ibu Sesmen mentions about the willingness of tourists to pay more for destinations that already implementing sustainable principles. So this is our chance, yeah, for Indonesia to really prepare destinations that are fully implementing sustainable tourism principles. Yeah, this is only an introduction. I do not have time to explain about this sustainable tourism development program. Yeah, but what can I say to you that Indonesia already make this program, and currently we already implement for STD, Sustainable Tourism Development, STO, Sustainable Tourism Observatory, and STC, Sustainable Tourism Certification. Next. Yeah, next. Okay, the 5 sub-program of STDEV, yeah, I think this material will be shared to all of you, and you can learn about this, yeah, more briefly. Next. Okay, to support, yeah, the implementation of STDEV, yeah, Indonesia already prepare some policies, yeah, as a way to make sure that the sustainable tourism development strategy can be implemented. One of the important guidance is Permen Parekraf number 9, yeah, 2021, about guidelines of sustainable tourism destination. Next. So, to conclude my presentation this morning, there are 4 things that I would like to convey to all of you. First, sustainable tourism is not a choice anymore. It is a must. We have, yeah, if we want to have, if we still want to have sustainable tourism in the future in Indonesia, then we have to start sustainable tourism principles starting now. And by implementing sustainable tourism, we also contribute to SDGs. And then to implement sustainable tourism, it requires clarity. That's why I choose to convey the message about what is sustainable tourism, yeah, again and again and again, yeah. And then it needs intentionality, Bapak Ibu. In Indonesia, we call it ngotot. We cannot not ngotot for sustainable tourism. Yeah, we cannot just because it is hard then we go putus asa, ya, then we do not want to do it again. No, we have to ngotot, yeah, about sustainable tourism. And we need a pool of people. That's why I choose this topic this morning. We need all of you, Bapak Ibu, to implement sustainable tourism. Everyone in tourism components, everyone in tourism ecosystem have to aware about this issue. And then it is a journey. Yeah, it is a journey. We can always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but perhaps we never reach the end of the tunnel because it's a journey. Yeah, and we have to start now. Next. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's take care our
Yeah.
Indonesia
Thank you, Ibu
tourism.
Prof.
Thank you.
Give applause to Ibu Prof. Dina. Yeah, it's a very interesting presentation for today, but hold on for a moment because we are going to hear from presentation from Thailand directly from the Dean of Burapa University. But beforehand, I would like to make a highlight of the presentations from Prof. Dina. Sustainable tourism is important for us because it is for our next generations. So to save the world and also to save for the next generations. And next is about the sustainable tourism. It's not a choice, yeah, and then also should be implemented. It means that to implement means that contribute. To implement this, you have clarity, intentionality, pull of people, and the last is you have to say that it is a journey, means that we have to start now. So, for example, Ibu Prof has given us an example like when you want to, you eat a food, for example, you have to take as you need, don't take it because of your eyes, see that very good, but you cannot finish all the food. It's one of the simple sustainable examples, I think. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so we come to the next presenters. I would like to invite our next presenters, Associate Professor Parinya Naktom from Burapa University. Are you ready, Pak Parinya? Professor Parinya? So, Assistant Professor Parinya Naktom, PhD, he's from Burapa University. He is Dean in one of the faculty in Parinya, in Burapa University. International College, yeah. So I think I'd like to invite Professor Parinya. Time is yours. Your voice, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Now do you hear me? Pak Alif, do you hear me?
Yes, we hear.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yep. May I share my slides? Could allow me to share my slides?
You share yourself?
Okay, I will share by myself. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, so good morning, rectors and all the guest speaker and the audience. Okay, this is my great honor for me to be share about our experience in part of the topic of the Rethinking tourism management for sustainable and the social inclusive goal. And I would like to recap from the speaker before. After I learned and listened from you, so we also have the strategy, right, about the sustainable tourism, about the competitive, about the add value, digitalizations, and product activity. And the outcomes that the tourism in Indonesia prefer is will be the tourism experience, supply chain, the capacity of service, and also the awareness and sale. So this one is will be linked about my slide that I quite surprised because in the perspective of the Thailand and also Indonesia is quite similar. The tourism situations that previous speaker presents, so is an effect from the COVID situation, is we will break down about the tourism situation around the world. It's not only for Indonesia, in Thailand as well. In Thailand, we just opened our countries in the last April, okay, 2022. And you can see this slide. This slide will be like the tourism in the past. Before COVID situations, we cannot be managed about the tourism will be sustained because of we cannot balance about the destination. In Thailand, the destination will be present only for the top level province in Thailand, and such as in Bangkok, in Chiang Mai, in Phuket, in Chonburi, and some province. But actually, we also have 77 province. And the second one is the leakage. Leakage is mean about the money of Thai people. Okay, they spend a lot of in like the international tourism. We're not concerned about the domestic tourism. And disconnect. The disconnect is mean we are like work alone. We cannot be combined and like find the participant and the co-worker with other country and other of the supply chains. And the risks, this is the same with the deans that she present about the risks that can come to any panels. And outdated, this outdated is mean the legislations or the policy or the law. Okay, so because if you do not update about the policy, so maybe it will be the barriers of the tourism development. And the last one is very important that the Dean is present already about the unsustainable. This is about the past concepts. But in the future, we have to looking, okay, this is about the Thai perspective and Thai's, we would like to develop. The first one is the connections. The connection will be all the part of the supply chain in tourism. It's not only for the accommodations combined with transportations, the tourist attractions, the travel agency, the souvenir shop and tourist destinations. The second one, we would like to develop and encourage about the tourists to travel in Thailand first, okay? After they travel in domestic tourism, they will go to Southeast Asia. It's not too far for flight, okay? And the third one, we have to concern about the risk management. It's not only for the hygiene and wellness, but it's for other factors as well, such as about the environmentals, the economic growth, about the culture, okay? And the last one, we have to develop our technology and AI in the future to be support about if we have any problems about the COVID situation, the tourism can be continued in the. And this is about the change in the operational environments that affect for us, okay? And this one is a kind of the strategy of the supply chain in Thailand. The first one, we look at about the importance of the near market, okay? Near market is mean in Thailand and about the country that will be the border, okay, such as Indonesia. And the second one is sustainability and responsibility in travel, okay? The people have to take the responsibility for yourself and for others. The third one, the effect of the COVID situations, pandemic to traveler, okay? As you can see, if you want to fly to other country or in domestic, you have to wear the masks and do many like the sanitary and accessibility, okay? So most people do not want to fly to other destinations, but the road trip will more impact for other, okay? So it means the country have to be developed, okay? And construct about the infrastructure. And the third one, the fifth one is the financial and policy insecurity. So now the government have to be concerned, okay, and adapt about the policy. It's not insecurity, okay. And next one is digitalization and leading with the knowledge, okay. So it's like if it's not have like a COVID situation, I have to fly to Makassar to present in over there. But now it's really convenient. I can present in Thailand, so anyone in there can be listened and know. Okay, and then the effect of the COVID situation pandemics to the companies. Okay, and the last one about the change visit Thailand to customer segment. Okay, and in detail, I will inform you later how it can be rethink and redesign in part of the tourism. And as we prepare about the strategy, we're not concerned only for the people, but we concerned for the stakeholder. Stakeholder is mean like the many components will be included for the tourism industry. Okay, as the Dean informed that the local community, okay, or the CBT might be plenty in Indonesia. Okay, but now we will back to develop about the local community as well in Thailand. Okay, and the second one, the quality tourists. We are seeking and select about the tourists that have high impact for us, like if they have like the mindset of the sustainability, so it might be the good quality tourists, okay, because they can be protect our environmentals. And we would like to promote about the mega events, okay, because mega event you do one time, but it get more impact for the country and for like a destinations. And the local product development, okay, if you develop only for the local community, so it might be only destinations. But if you want to add the value, okay, for like a local community, so the product development might be one thing that you have to be concerned, okay, and digitalizations and digital infrastructure. So in each destinations, you have to develop about the AR, VR, or MR, okay, to let the people will be like the understand first and try in and try out. After they accept, so you can travel in your destination. And tourist behavior analysis, okay, so you have to be category about the niche market. It's not the mass market. And then infrastructure development, okay, I'm quite surprised because last month I went to Yogyakarta with the UNESCO summer camp from Tourism School, and I met Professor Arfin in there. And when I travel in Yogyakarta, maybe before COVID situation, it's only 15 minutes from the city to airport. But this time it's around 2 hours. So the first time I think, why it's so far? Okay, but when I arrived in the airport in Yogyakarta, so I quite surprised because of the airport infrastructure is quite be interesting and like make me motivate to come back again because it's a high value for me. And this is about the challenge strategy, okay, from the Thai government in the Ministry of the Sport and Tourism. In Indonesia, as I listened, there are 5 strategies. The first one, sustainable. The second one, competitiveness. The third one, add value. The fourth one is the digitalizations. And the last one is productivity. But in Thailand, I think quite similar, but we also have only 4 strategies. The first one is the resilience tourism. The resilient tourism is mean that tourism, they also have like develop themselves, okay, easily if they got some impact from like the environmental factors, okay, that they cannot manage. And the second one, the strategy is like the quality tourism. We do not like the support of the destination or tourism in Thailand, but we are seeking about the potential tourism to be developed to be the high quality. Because of if you would like to recruit about the high tourism impact, the quality tourism might be one of the things that have to be related together. And the third one, sustainable tourism. Okay, it's the same topic with the things that she infer about the sustainable tourism. Is not thing is the news, okay? But the people do not understand what is the sustainable tourism, okay? The behavior of tourists have to be changed. The stakeholder have to understand about the key term of the sustainabilism. And at last, the tourism have to be give the new experiences or the experience that the tourists would like to get, okay? I have some example as well when I'm traveling in Indonesia. And the successful factors, the first one, the digital have to be combined with the tourism. The second one, the legislation or the policies, they also have to develop and concern about the social change. The third one is a tourism entrepreneurial, okay? They also have to be combined and make about the connectings. You cannot think in the previous time, the tourism entrepreneur is will be competitor, but now you have to think the word of the partnerships. And the fourth one is about the investment. The investment is not only for the money, but investment is mean the knowledge, okay? Investment is mean about the local wisdom. And connectivity, okay, as the Bunir informed that Indonesia have to be combined something with Thailand. I agree about this one because Thai and Indonesia we also have quite similar culture, but it's not similar. So we can learn, okay, something new together. And at last one, positionings. You have to think about the brand positionings, the tourism positioning point, okay, which one that you want to sell. Because if you are promote all of them, there are a lot of the investment that you have to pay. But if you are scoped down in the small brand positioning, so it might be better for you. And this is about the group of the legislations or the new policy that the government or like a local society, local associations have to be concerned. The first one is licensing. The licensing in tourism, such as the hotel licensing, the tour guide licensing, the transportation licensing. So it might be easy, but more plenty of the safety, okay? The second, marketing, because sometimes if you want to announce some things, okay, you get the penalty from the regulations because of it do not allow you to be present. The food and drink, okay? And the health and safety policy, okay, this one you have like a one first legislations that the government have to be developed. The guest or like a part of the customer, if you would like to let the customer or the tourism to be sustained, but the policy have to be forced them, okay, or like let them get some penalty as well if you destroy something. And the glamping, okay, the glamping in China is illegal, okay, but the people is will go to border countries such as the Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar to pay glamping, so maybe have to be reconsidered. And the last one, environmental. The Thailand, we also have some of like the legislations of the environmental. If you go to like a national park, the staff will be record how many pieces of the plastic bag or plastic bottle that you take inside. Okay, and when you're out of the national park, you have to be returned and show about the plastic bag and the number of the plastic bottles. If you not show the same number when you take inside, you have to pay fine. Okay, like 1,000 pieces, 1,000 baht per pieces. Okay, so now I would like to summarize about the rethink of the tourism management in sustainable and socially inclusive goal. The first one, if you think about the tourism now, okay, the new words that will pop up is with new normal. Okay, what is the new normal means? The new normal, you can see about the red color. The first one, the tourists will concern about the health and hygiene. Okay, if the hotels, the tourist destinations, the transportation, they're not concerned about the health and hygiene, so the customer do not be entranced, okay, and get the service. But you show something that will be support about the health and hygiene policy. So it's maybe the magnet. The second one, closer to home trip. They don't want to go far away from the hometown, okay, such as like I'm staying in the Chonburi city, Thailand. It's far from Bangkok, allow 1 kilometer, not 1 kilo, 50 kilometer. So if I want to go to Chiang Mai, it's allowed 70 kilometers. So I hope I go to Bangkok. I prefer to Bangkok because of I concern about the hygiene and health wellness and also the COVID situation if I fly to Chiang Mai city. And the third one, we have to be shifting the tourism sector, okay, from the mass to the niche segment market. Okay, what is mean the mass? The mass is mean the people can be go through, but the niche will be small. Okay, and we also have like the carrying capacity of the number of the tourists to be entranced, okay, in these tourist destinations. And the last one is technology adoption. So this is very important. And the sustainable growth, as the Dean informed that in Indonesia, you are concerned for the number 8, number 12, and number 14. But in Thailand, we concern number 8 as well. And number 9 will be like industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 11, about the sustainable city and the community. And the same in number 12 with you. And number 13 is the climate actions, okay? And number 17 is the partner for the goal. So for like 6 of the SDG goal, so we summarize into about the 5 topics to be developed about the sustainable goal in like my concepts. The first one is the enrich about the local community. In Thailand, we also have many local community as well, okay? But we try to enrich them, to promote them, okay? To support them, to be like the sharing about the economic value to the local community. The second one is the value creations, okay? How can you promote about the destination by use about the low emissions of the transportations and also about the control about the carbon footprint control, okay? And the third one, enrich about the environmentals. How can you support about the environmentals, okay? And also about how can you encourage about tourists to be make something, okay, to support our global, such as grow some tree or like the unused about the plastic bag or something, okay. And number 4 is the zero waste tourism. So how can you manage about the waste that can be effect from the tourists? If there are a lot of tourists in one destination, it will come with like the high impact of the pollutions. It's not only for like the waste, but including for like the air pollution, sound pollution, okay, and the climate change impact as well. Because of nowadays, if you fly or if you drive, okay, transportation is got impact. How can you manage? This is about the things that Thai concern now. And the second one is the rethink. The Thais, we would like to be developed about the soft power in culture, okay. I think this is the same between Thai and Indonesia. We would like to develop about the soft power, but there are plenty, right? But now we use about the 5 F first. The first F is mean food, okay? The second one is films. The third one is the fashions. The fourth one is fighting. And the last one is the festival, okay? So this is about the city in Indonesia. The first trip for me to Indonesia is 10 years ago. The first trip is start from 2012. The first city is Jakarta. Okay, and after that, I love the Indonesia because of there are many of the culture is quite similar. Okay, I went to Jakarta, Surakarta, Yogyakarta, Bandung, Batam, Bali. Okay, and the new city last month is Bangkok. Okay, so when I'm traveling in Indonesia, the first word that come with the culture, okay, is mean batik. Okay, batik is interesting for me, okay, and last month that I visited about the Museum of Batik in Yogyakarta, I can learn a lot of like the history, okay, from the first batik is related with like the color, the style, the pattern or something, so it's making interested, and I still remember until now. And after that, that I remind me to go to Indonesia, it means the Indonesia food, okay, there are many kind of Indonesia food, and the things that I love is mean like a sambal, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I remember the sambal because Thai people love about the spicy food. Okay, Indonesia food is not too spicy. When I have about the food with Indonesia, I have to put some sambal in there. Okay, when I'm thirsty, the first one that I love and order is sisak juice. Okay, in Thai we don't have any kind of this. We have kind of this one, but I think it's not delicious. Okay, but when I go to Indonesia, okay, sisak juice is the first drink that I prefer to order. And you know, the souvenirs that I try in Indonesia, I have to bought it all the times, okay, to back to Thailand. So can you guess what is it? Okay, and my colleague as well would like to say, Dean, you have to buy some for me to the souvenir. That is salak. Okay, that is salak. The salak are like the snake food, so this is my favorite. Okay, and I know that it have a lot of in the Yogyakarta. And thank you, Pak Alif. He informed me many kind of the salak in Indonesia. There are many styles, but the love one, I'm not sure. Okay, what is like the name of them? But I call often is salak. Okay, so this is about the things when I travel Indonesia is very remind. Okay, so for your side, you are Indonesia. How can you develop about all of the tourists prefer, okay, to be one of the souvenir or one of like a culture to be developed about the soft power to the tourists in the future, okay? And however, okay, there are not only for things that I love, okay, but in the future, if you would like to develop about the rethink, redesign in tourism, you have to come back like at the community-based tourism, okay, local product. There are a lot of things in the local product. I visit about Indonesia, especially in the Yogyakarta. I went to Borobudur more than 7 times because of the host on the area, City Plum, okay, take me to go there. But all the times that I went there, I got some many things, okay, to learn. And they took me about the local community as well, so I can see local products in there. And you can develop about the community-based tourism, but you have to find out about the something new, something is quite be unique. Okay, it's like last month I went to Bangkok, Trisakti School of Tourism. Okay, manage and operate this camp. Okay, I can learn about the botanic gardens. It might be not community-based tourism, but it's kind of the animals, the kind of the tree. Okay, that I have never seen in Thailand, but I can see in there. Okay. And the safety and sanitary, okay, this one is really unique as well, that you have to, it's not to be like the force the people to do, but you have to merge, okay, to be the soft power to people have to be concerned. And the cognitive emotion behavior, so this one is quite be difficult, but how can you design and manage tourism? It's not to be inform them, but let the tourists will learn and perceive them, okay? And the new generations, how can you design about the gamifications, okay? Gamifications to the new generations. In Thai, we develop about the Thailand. Thailand is like an application that promote from the Tourism Authority of Thailand, okay? To with the WeChat. And Chinese people can be play about the Thailand to collect the coin, okay? If they collect the coin, they can get the point. If they get the point, they can exchange with like the souvenir or some of like a discount coupon when you are traveling in Thailand, okay? And personalizations. You have to learn about the group of the behavior of the people. If you want to promote about this destination, what is the target group of this destination? Okay, it will be the explore around the Indonesia, because you also have more than 17,000 islands. Okay, and this is about the things. Okay, it can be one of like the magnet of Thailand. We promote about the mine industry. Okay, mine industry will be the meeting, incentive, exhibition, and conventions. So we use the concept of the sustainable development. Okay, we use about green buildings. Green building is not be the color, but it's more like we use about the solar cells, we use about the water cells or something. The environmental, mental, and responsibility. Okay, we use about the green meeting and event. Okay, we not use a lot of things. Okay, the decoration is come from about the reels of like trees or something. The stakeholder engagement. Okay, but in Thailand, we set up about the organizations. Okay, so we call about the TCEP, in short, Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, to promote about like the mines industry in Thailand. And a case study. Okay, if you want to promote. Okay, as I informed the mega events, okay, in the Westerns, they promote about the Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest, this one will be present at the Munich. They want to sell the beer, okay, but the beer is not only main contract for the tourists, but they sell about plenty of the food as well in this event, okay. We merge about the festival with the religions, as we know about the carnival, okay, it comes from Christian. In Thailand as well, we promote about this festival. If we present that what kind of the festival, as you know from Thailand, so most people will say Songkran festival, Loikatong festival, but this festival is very unique in the northeastern part of Thailand. We call the Ghost Mark. Okay, I will show. Okay, so the Ghost Mark, when you are let the tourists will be participant. So it's not only for the experience to be participate, but we are sales about the souvenir, okay, in like the add some value. So this one is about the example of like a G-Shock clock, okay, but the painting will be like the postmark in the festival. So this one is the central department store, is the big department store in Thailand. Get these concepts, and you know, only one day they are sold out. One of the watch is allowed $400, okay, and this is in Bang San. Where is Bang San? Burapha University, we are located in Bang San. We are only for close to the beach. But if we only for sell about the national resources, the base, the seashore, is not the impact for the local, okay? So the local government will be create about like a marathon, okay? Marathon 42. So this is about the big events. There are more than 10,000 runners to become enjoy this event. So it can be impact for like about the local people, okay? But the main concept is with sustainability. We are concerned about the social, economy, environmental, and culture as well. And there are two more examples, okay, in Lyon and Helsinki, okay, in the Europe. The Lyons, okay, we also have some of like the video clip, but I think the time will be out, so I will wrap up for you.
Both our speaker for this session was explain about SDGs. There are 17 SDGs that has been explained well, I think. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so I'd like to give you time to give a question. So I think any questions from online first? Any? One is from, what is it? Yeah, can you make it? Yeah, online, this is areas in the regional spatial plan, and what directions of space utilization can we give to support sustainable tourism? Thank you. From Rizky, Ibu, Prof. Could you answer directly? Go.
Thank you, Rizky, for the question. So when a tourism attraction is going to be open in a conservation area, of course we have to put on top, yeah, the main function of that area. It is a conservation area, that it means we have to follow the regulation. However, we also know that one of the utilization of national park, conservation area, some of it still can be utilized for tourism area. Then to strategize it, yeah, I'm sure we can plan of something. Yeah, we can plan something. For conservation area, in my opinion, yeah, the first thing that we can open is not a mass tourist, but it's a special interest tourist. So it means the number of tourists that can be catered in that area is limited. We have to count the carrying capacity. Yeah, we can do the reservation perhaps, yeah, and coordinating, yeah, the number of tourists in one time that can be catered in that area. And I also remember that in every conservation area, there will be a buffer zone. Yeah, a buffer zone. So the tourists, yeah, can do their activities, yeah, according to the zoning that already made by the management of the conservation area. Yeah, and perhaps, yeah, with a good planning, a certain number of tourists can go to the core area. But again, this is really depend on the planning, the coordination, yeah, and how we are going to utilize the conservation area. As for Africa, I think they have a lot of conservation conservation area that also can be seen by the tourists with a very limited number. And the tourists also have to be aware of the code of conduct when you are coming to a conservation area. Yeah, then it is still possible. It is very possible. So I'm going to give the keyword here. It's about planning. Yeah, everything is possible if we can do a good planning on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu, Prof. Yeah, I think using conservation is actually it's one of any regulation that regulate about the using as a tourist destination. So I think but all of us, all the stakeholders should follow the regulation that I implement in one of the area. Okay, the next question from Mejiro Laksono, also for Professor Parinya. How intensively in his Thailand is international tourism to tourists? Yeah, I mean, how intensively in his Thailand is international tourism to tourists? Professor, understand?
So could you explain me more? What is it?
Yeah. How intensively? Sudah benar katanya itu. How intensively in his Thailand is international tourism to tourists? What does it mean, the questions? I'm also confused about the questions. I think it's make me confused. One question from, yeah, while waiting for, this is another question. Oh, yeah, Prof. Parinya. The big matter in Vietnam currently is that how to make local tourism branding in terms of special and typical products, so that the visitor will be excited to see new things in new places. Can you share your solution in Indonesia or Thailand from Lee Han. Le Han, yeah, Le Han. Do you understand? Can you hear me, Prof?
Yep. So it means like
yeah.
The question is in Vietnam, okay, but want to apply to Thailand, right?
Yep.
Okay, so for my perceptions of like I was thinking about the question first. So Professor, could you repeat about the question again?
Yeah, I repeat the questions. How to make local tourism branding in terms of special and typical product so that the tourist or the visitor will be excited to see new things in new places?
Okay, thank you, Professor. So the first one, we cannot be present or promote all of the local destinations, okay, or local products, but the government or like the local government have to be seek, okay, and find out which one is will be like the spot of the tourist attractions by understand about the need and want of the tourists first. If you know about the target market need, okay, so now we can back to our like the country to be find out about the products that you want to support them. Because in the past, the tourisms, we are develop some things that you cannot be hearing about the voice of customer. We would like to sell something that we have, but it's not be linkage with like the target market. But nowadays, you have to be do some like the research or do some of like the need of the customer, and then you can find out about what is the product that you want to sell them. So this is my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Next question from the offline. Well, two questions, I think from Ibu Dewi and also from the top. Yeah, I think from the top first, then Ibu Dewi. Next, yes. You address the question to where you can mention.
All right, thanks for the chance. So this question is for Ibu Prof. Diana. As we know that sustainable tourism is very important to our next generation. As a young generation, it's very important to us to need to understand what the meaning of sustainable tourism itself. So my question is, what the basic things or what the first thing that we can do as a young generation to can implement this sustainable tourism as a young generation, especially as a tourism student. Thank you.
Yes, understand, Prof? Yeah, okay, I think will be answered directly because we'll be, yeah, I think, can you understand the questions? Yes, thank you.
Well, you asked a very basic thing, but it's very hard to to answer you, yeah, because thank you for responding to the material about the importance of sustainable tourism. Again, we have to think for the long term. Yeah, the first thing you have to do as a young generation is you, as the owner of the future, you have to have a long-term thinking. So do not think only about today, but also think like 10, 20, 30 years ahead. Yeah. If you really want to embrace this concept, yeah, please be active. Yeah, be active in finding, yeah, the really meaning, the definition of sustainable tourism itself, and then you can start, yeah, to make it a habit by implementing the principles. Because sustainable tourism, if we see the concept, it is really a universal concept. Yeah, and I believe all religion, yeah, that exists in Indonesia is highly related, because this concept is talking about harmony, how we respect others, how we balancing every aspect. Balancing means do not be greedy, for example. Yeah, and be considerate of others by what? By wisely using water resources. Yeah, by thinking about how you're throwing away your trashes, how we respect food, for example. Yeah, it is, I think all religions is talking about this, how we wisely use our resources. Yeah. So as a tourism students, you can do more. Yeah. I believe that you also learning about the tourism planning. You learn about, for example, if you are a culinary students, you are also learning about food costing, about menu planning, this and that. Everything of sustainable tourism principles can be implemented there. Yeah. For example, if you are a culinary students, yeah, perhaps you're thinking, how am I going to implement sustainable tourism principles in my culinary studies? Yeah, well, actually, you can really implement it. Yeah, when you practicing in the kitchen, yeah, in the kitchen lab, for example. Do not think that, okay, all of the ingredients are free, everything is already paid, so I'm free to use everything and I'm free to make mistakes. So there are a lot of waste. Yeah, after you do the practicum, there are a lot of waste because you think about, oh, it's already paid, the materials are so many in the kitchen. But if you think in a sustainable way, you will be very careful and responsible when you are using all materials in lab. Yeah, the same thing in our daily life. You use the tissue. Do not think, oh, it's already paid, the campus is providing for it, I already paid, and the tissue is so much, you can buy it in any mini market. Do not think that way, but you think about, by using every tissue, you already cutting so many trees, for example. Ya, ini Bu Dina hidupnya susah amat sih, gitu ya. Apa-apa dipikirin. Yes, we have to think about everything. I always tell my students, if you go to the restroom, for example, and you see that the water is still running, okay, you are not the one who make it run, but please take a moment to turn it off. Because can you imagine if you just let the water running, how many clean water is already wasted? While in other part, in Indonesia perhaps, or even in Sulawesi Selatan, there are people who struggling to get clean water. Yeah, as a tourism students, for example, yeah, for this event, yeah, you can think about sustainable ways, yeah, by conducting an event. For example, using a lot of soft copy as materials. Yeah, that is also already implementing sustainable tourism. Rather than printing, yeah, printed materials, you are using soft copy. Yeah, so it's already sustainable principles. Many other things, yeah. I can give a lot of examples, yeah, in housekeeping, for example, in room division, in food and beverage. Yeah, so many things that we can implement, yeah, about the sustainable tourism. However, you can start from your daily life to make it a habit, yeah. And again, sustainable tourism is not only about environment, not only about environment. It is also about economic, about social culture, yeah, and environment. But by doing one, the impact, yeah, will affecting other aspect, all of the aspect. That is sustainable tourism. I hope this short answer can answer your question, even though your question is not easy to be answered. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I think it's clear about the sustainable tourism. So you have to start from yourself, from the simple ones, make it you know. Yeah. Yeah. So for example, if you use kindness of tissue, so use as you need, then use as you want. Is it, Prof? Yeah. And also when you order the food, don't order much, but order what you need for food. Yeah. And then not eat what you want. Because what you want, so we want to all things about the food, and when after eating or having a small spoon, you know, then you will leave it because you feel bored. You know? Okay, a question from Ibu Dewi from offline. Will you address to whoever you can mention?
Thank you, Pak Arvin. I have a question for Prof. Parinyanak Paton. Prof, as you mentioned before, there's a group of legislation within hospitality, as you mentioned before, that the licensing, marketing, food and drink, health and safety, gas, gambling, and environment. I'm interested in one point, as you mentioned before. How do you think gambling can be one of the important points and make a big contribution to the development of tourism in your country, especially in Thailand? The second question for Profesor Dina Mutiara. Ibu, kalau kita merilis catatan dari WTO dan United Nations Environmental Program, ada 12 tujuan utama dari pembangunan pariwisata berkelanjutan. Kalau bisa saya sebutkan antara lain adalah economic viability, local prosperity, employment quality, social equity, visitor fulfillment, local control, community well-being, cultural richness, physical integrity, biological diversity, resource efficiency, dan environmental purity. Ada satu poin yang ingin saya stressing terkait dengan cultural richness, Ibu. As we know that sometimes cultural performance kita itu lose meaning because they are sometimes diprioritaskan lebih kepada medium of performance saja, sehingga kadang-kadang sudah kehilangan makna terkait dengan real cultural atau kehilangan makna sebagai real cultural richness kita. So what do you think about this? Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Dewi. There are two questions from Ibu Dewi, one for Professor Parinya. So I think I would like to please for Parinya first, then after that will be Ibu Prof. Dina. Time is yours, Prof. Parinya.
Thank you so much. With a good question from the Ibu. So the legislations of the glamping in Thailand is still illegal, but you know, is that Thai government is still probably consider because of if you would like to pay glamping in Thailand, you just across the border. Okay, just a bridge from Thailand to Myanmar. Okay, so only for 5 minutes, you can get about the big of like at the casino, or you go to like at the east of Thailand, across the border to Cambodia, you can get about the big casino as well. So the Thai reconsider that why we have to let the Thai people we spend a lot of money, okay, in the other country, even though we can set up about the glamping in Thailand. But one thing is will be like at the barriers, and also about the big of the problem is the 95% of the Thai, we are respect about the Buddhism religion. So the Buddhism religion is will be the prohibit. One of the prohibit is will be, we cannot be like let the people will play about the glamping. But nowadays is social change. But I think we have to be reconsider. That's why we have to be list in this one. But we cannot list, we cannot set about the big casino in Thailand first, but we will consider which part that we can start. Okay, I think this is, will we answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Yeah, Ibu Dewi, that's the question, or the answer from Prof. Parinya. So the next questions will be answered by Prof. Dina. Time is yours, Prof.
Thank you, Ibu, for the questions. I don't think this is a coincidence because last week in my Master of Tourism class, we are discussing about this, yeah, about how are we going to accelerate, yeah, and really conserve our culture, yeah, through sustainable tourism principles. Well, Ibu, what happened is this: tourism is in the downstream, yeah, of the ecosystem. We are in the hillier, yeah, with the hillier. So we are the industry that utilize the culture. That's why perhaps sometimes what we see in tourism that our culture is only utilized for performing only, for the performance only. However, it is not something bad, in my opinion, Ibu. Why? Because by giving the stage to the performers, yeah, we give the opportunity for our art and culture group, cultural community to present themselves to the public. But to make it more effective, we cannot stop only doing that. We have to help the people in the upstream, di hulunya, yeah, to develop themselves, yeah, by it's an ecosystem. By giving them the chance to present themselves, we can contribute, yeah, of them to survive in the hulu, yeah, in the upstream, yeah. We have to assist, yeah. I don't know, perhaps not only in terms of budgeting, in terms of finance, but also giving them capacity building, yeah. So I don't think it's something bad. Sometimes the debate is on this, Ibu. A very sacral performance, for example. We have to cut it, yeah, like actually it is 1 hour, but we cut it only for 10 minutes. Then the 10 minutes perform to the public, yeah. Sometimes people will say that it's an exploitation of culture. However, if we don't do that, then the public will never know that there is something, that Indonesia have something like that. So we can do it in a balanced way by introducing that in 10 minutes. Then people perhaps will have interest on that culture. And in the upstream, yeah, we can help the people, yeah, to conserve this culture, yeah. Again, sustainable tourism will take a lot of stakeholders, yeah, to make it well implemented, yeah. We have to have an open mind on this. So we work together, we collaborate. So from upstream to downstream, it can make a good ecosystem. So that is my opinion for your question, Ibu. So I hope we can do a hand-in-hand work, yeah, together. So not only thinking about, oh, this is manipulating, this is a commercialization. No, but we think about it as an opportunity to the culture to be presented, so it can be conserved. Yeah, because people will be interested to conserve something when they know and they have interest on it. Yeah, this is what we have to do. Collaborate with perhaps Depdikbud, how to make a conservation for our culture more effective. Thank you, Ibu.
Thank you, Ibu, Prof. So I think the most important thing here is collaboration. So all of us, all stakeholders, to sustain the tourism, for especially I think here. Whenever you understand about that sustainability is important for the generations, I think we have to be realized that all things that we have to conserve. For example, about the how to say, the culture. I think it's important, not only performing but also to sustain, or because culture is becoming how to say, degradation because of the people who are concerned about this. About the culture, I think will be less and less, and so on. Yeah, one more question, I think, for Professor Parinya. Can you explain how to give understanding to the below stakeholder as it's the real practitioners? They didn't get higher education to understand about sustainable tourism development, They only know how to struggle in life. We just talk in the surface, not into depth from Priyadi Wibisono. It is for Parinya.
Okay, so thank you so much. For my side, in Thailand, when we are promote about tourism, it's not only for like the government, like a minister, but we also have like the how I say about the local governments. Just they get about the policy and strategy from the like the ministry. So the education institute in each area, they will be like a get the concepts, okay, and then they will be informed about the local or stakeholder. Because we also have like a close relation with stakeholder to be like let them know and teaching them or some things, okay. So this is about the basics of the people that non-graduate will learn from like the institute in each area, okay. And moreover, when we also have like some of the practical, okay, training, so the stakeholder in the local like a local level, they will join and participate as well. So this is about the concept of how can to teach about the low educate about the sustainable tourism in Thailand.
Thank you, Prof. I think this is our job for academicians to to share or to campaign about the sustainable tourism. One more question from the offline, Dr. Hamsu. Yes, can you give the mic, please? Hello, Mike. Mike. I think this is the last questions to be performed in this session because the time is limited. Pak Hamsu, yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. All the participants of the International Tourism Seminar.
Can you up your voice, please?
Yeah.
Yes.
My question going to Associate Professor Nak Patom. It's difficult to say. Yeah, I have a friend from Thailand. Name is Jurej. You know Jurej? As we know, maybe not related, but can be related. My question to your presentation, according to halal tourism. Yes. So we know at the moment many segmentation of the halal tourism from the Arabic country. Yeah. So my question to you, how the response of the government and also population in Thailand. So the second question to go into Ibu Prof Dina. Yeah, nama saya Hamsu, Ibu. Yeah. Talking about sustainable tourism is a must be, yeah. But just Ibu Deni mentioned that it is not new sustainable tourism, but it's a long time ago already declared and learned about sustainable tourism. But the implementation in Indonesia still not maximum, I think. So maybe according to Ibu Dina, is any regulation or solution, or maybe about the what we call the regulation, or you can suggest to the government about how to implementing well the sustainable tourism in Indonesia, because already a long time ago we declare about that sustainable tourism. Yeah. So to make clear my question is better I say in Indonesia, and because I'm afraid, I worry that some of our participants cannot understand my English, but not blame me. If you are not understand my English, blame yourself why you not understand my English. Oke, Ibu Dina, jadi kita tahu Ibu ya, untuk memperjelas saja ini bahwa sustainable tourism ini kan sudah lama sekali kita declare di Indonesia. Sudah kita pelajari sudah puluhan tahun. Ibu menyampaikan tadi tahun 92 masih siswa sudah belajar sustainable tourism, tapi kenyataannya memang implementasinya itu sangat sulit kita lakukan. Dan kenyataannya misalnya kita bicara masalah sustainable, kita juga masih tetap memproduce plastik. Ya, hari ini kita memang kalau di Poltek Park sudah kita bagikan sebenarnya kebijakan manajemen, sudah ada tumbler di koridor kelas itu sudah siapkan dispenser di masing-masing koridor. Tapi produce untuk plastik ini juga masih banyak gitu. Dan itu tidak bisa dihindari kegiatan-kegiatan seminar seperti ini ya, tetap aja ada plastik yang kita gunakan, dan paling tidak mereduce kan, usaha dilakukan sudah mereduce. Beberapa hotel sudah melakukan hal itu ya, menggunakan pitcher, tidak lagi menggunakan plastik atau mineral water di dalam botol plastik. Nah itu, jadi kira-kira apa policy atau aturan atau regulasi yang bisa barangkali kita lakukan agar bisa terimplementasikan dengan baik. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Pak Dr. Hamsu. Yeah, first I think I'd like to invite Prof. Parinya to answer the questions about halal tourism in Thailand, the implementation of that.
Okay,
Time's
thank you
yours,
so
yes.
much. Okay, so for the halal tourism, as you know that in Thailand, we are 95% we respect our Buddhisms, but the south of Thailand, okay, most of the population we are respect our Islam as well. So the best practice of the halal tourism is will be present from the southern part of Thailand, okay, but in other region of Thailand, we do not have like a promote about the halal tourism because we would like to scope about the tourisms in will be the niche market, okay, it's not mass market. Okay, but it's like a Burapha University. We are located in the eastern part of Thailand. We also have just only some restaurants. We are not promote the halal, but we also have some restaurants that will be have like how says about the size that will be supported by the halal, okay, halal foundation or some things to be led about the tourism will like perceive and guarantee that this shop will be get about the certificate from halal. Okay, this is about I think it will be the answer for you. Okay, it means we not promote all the area to be the halal tourism except the southern of Thailand. But other can be promoted only for some shop or restaurant or some destinations. Okay, to be scoped to be the niche market, not mass market. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Yeah, that's Pamsu about in Thailand. Next, Ibu Prof. Dina, it is about the SDG, I think, because there are 17 items for SDG. So what about in tourism? And yeah, I think it's yours, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Pak Hamsu, for your question. Your question is a very strategic question, actually. How to implement sustainable tourism in Indonesia? How to accelerate? Yeah, I think this is the continuation of from the question of the students, yeah, previously. So, Pak Hamsu, I'm going to answer your questions by giving more information about the strategy of Indonesia. Like I already presented, that Indonesia already make STDEF strategy. So it is started by making Permen Parekraf number 9, 2021. Previously, it was Permen Parekraf number 14, 2016, about the guidelines of sustainable tourism destination. So the policy is already there, Pak. And then to implement and to socialize it, in 2017, starting 2017, the Kemen Parekraf actually make ISTA, Indonesia Sustainable Tourism Awards. It is starting from an award to make it easy but actually the objective of that award is to socialize the content of that Permen Parekraf, Pak. And for the first ISTA, yeah, we got 97 applicants of destinations all around Indonesia. So that is a good start. Yeah. From that ISTA as well, we recognize that even though many destinations do not state clearly about sustainable tourism, but actually they are already implementing it. So from ISTA 2017, 2018, and 2019, we already give awards to more than 36 destinations who recognize already implementing sustainable tourism. Yeah, so that is from the one of the strategy, ya Pak ya. That is one of the strategy to socialize the Permen Parekraf. And then Kemen Parekraf also provide the strategy by making STO, ya, Sustainable Tourism Observatory. Currently there are 5 monitoring center of Sustainable Tourism Observatory that is also recognized by UNWTO actually. It is under UGM, ITB, USU, UNUT, and I forgot one more is UNRAM, Mataram. Yeah, there are 5 universities who assign to monitor, yeah, the sustainable tourism implementation in several destinations. Yeah. But before we extend, yeah, other university or other higher education to become STO, pandemic comes. So the program is a little bit have to hibernate for a while. Yeah, that is the strategy. And then the third strategy is sustainable tourism certification. Yeah, starting from destination certification. So it's not an award anymore, but a formal certification by LS, Lembaga Sertifikasi Indonesia Sustainable Tourism Council. There are 2 destinations that already being certified. It is ITDC, Bali, and Bintan Resort, Cakrawala. And then there are 36 desa wisata that already get destinasi wisata berkelanjutan. So that is from the framework of strategic of Indonesia. It is ongoing, Pak, yeah, and I'm glad that you are asking about it. And I hope in the future Poltek Par Makassar can take part on it, yeah, because anyway it is also initiated by Kemen Parekraf. So I'm sure that all of the institution under Kemen Parekraf will get involved, yeah, in this strategy. But on the other hand, yeah, through Hildikti Pari, I also try to motivate all of the institution, higher education, to have sustainable tourism principles in their curriculum. Yeah, to get the pool of people through our students. So this sustainable tourism principles perhaps is not only coming as one of the subject, but in all subject the principles is implemented. Like the Global Code of Ethics, I'm sure is reflected in all of the subjects, as well as sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism principles in rooms division, sustainable tourism in tourism management and planning, sustainable tourism in culinary, sustainable tourism in food and beverage, everywhere, yeah, as a basic principles. So I believe that those are some examples, but one thing that I want to share with all of us here, it is heartwarming actually when I was involved as a jury for ISTA. So many of our destination is already aware about sustainable tourism with their own way. Yeah, perhaps they do not really understand the complex theory of sustainable tourism, but they already know that in their daily life they have to implement that. One of the fishermen in Wakatobi, I really remember this, ya Bapak Ibu. He said to me, Ibu, if I have to tell my friends, the fellow fishermen in Wakatobi about pariwisata berkelanjutan, they will not understand, Bu. But what I tell them, sustainable tourism is tomorrow still exists. Besok masih ada. It's a very simple statement from a simple fisherman, but it's very true. So, do not make sustainable tourism a complex concept, make it simple, and start to implement it in our daily life. Thank you, Pak Arifin.
Thank you, Prof. Tepuk tangan untuk Pak Prof. Well, we have to have a time. I think one more question from online for Professor Parinya. So, how can you make gastronomy in Thailand to be impacted in impact to the economy of local community, Prof?
Okay, thank you so much. So this is a good question because yesterday I'm just like have the trainings for like the staff of the Ministry of the Sport Tourism in Pattaya City. One of the keywords from this one is gastronomy tourism. There are concerned three of the point. The first one is the local gastronomy. The second one is the creative gastronomy, and the third one is organic gastronomy. Okay, so the gastronomy is quite unique of each region and local. Okay, such as in the eastern part of Thailand, we have plenty of the seafood and also about the tropical food. Okay, but northeastern we don't have that. Northeastern we are promote about like the sanitized fish and also about the liver food, something like that. So the government would like each region will be find out about the new product of gastronomy by mixing about the creativity. Okay, by mixing about the creativity. What is mean creativity means? Creativity is means like you not show only for cooking, but you have to inform them about the wisdom. What kind of the ingredients will be support about your health and well-being. Okay, if you've got like a high blood pressure, so what kind of the food is can be get you a low blood pressure. Okay, or let the local people will teach about like a tourist to be cook, to be do something by themselves to gain the experience. And finally, they can order about the they can deliver about the wisdom of the local people. Okay, to be cook something in the country. Okay, because now the ingredient of Thai they are spread around the world, so they can find the ingredient easily. But if you don't get about the ingredient for like the shop, so you can order from the local government because it will be like easy to transport of the ingredients from the local to other regionals and other country. This is things for the impact of the gastronomy tourism in Thailand. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Prof. Yep, what is the answer? Because gastronomy one of the to be sustained, you know, because yeah, when you talk about food, many people that Prof. Lina also said that many people how to say consume not because of the need, but because of the want to add. Well, because yeah, I like to say thank you very much, Prof. Because the time is over for this session. So I think Prof. Dina and Prof. Parinya, thank you very much for your presentation and for your presence in this session. So hopefully that the next meeting or next seminar will have another time to discuss about sustainable tourism or other topic about this. Let me a little bit to give you about the last kinds of a keyword about the sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism is about the journey. So everyone, all of us, we have to start from now. We have to start. I mean, everybody start from yourself. You don't need to wait for other people to start, but you start for ourselves to save the world, to save for our generation. So I think this is the important thing that we have about the sustainable tourism, and also it is also very related to the rethinking tourism, the theme of the World Tourism Day for this year. Because when we talk about rethinking tourism, it's also about sustainable tourism. It's also about how can we sustain about tourism, how can we revival the tourism itself, and how can we up again tourism after pandemic, because we've breathed for 2 years. We have that also Prof. Deputy Policy Strategic said that we have a minus visiting for 2 years, I think. So we start from now to to revive our tourism, in particular for Indonesia or in Asia, ASEAN countries. We have to work together, and collaborate together, and also to conduct any kinds of research or any kinds of this meeting to find a kinds of solution about the problem of in tourism. I think that is our conclusion for today. Give applause to our speaker for today. Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Parinya, for your presentation for today. I'm very sorry if we have any mistakes during this session. I am as a moderator. I'd like to close this. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll give back to the MC. Mana MC-nya? Masih ada MC ya? Ya, saya terima kasih banyak. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have kinds of souvenir for the the question, online question. So I'd like to invite who has a question this morning, Ibu Dewi from the other, and from Pak Hamsu, and come forward to the stage. Yes, yeah, and then will be also any souvenir from Poltekpar to Ibu Dina, I think. Yeah. Okay. Iya. Sini Bu. Ya. Pak Hamsu dengan Mbak Ditana. 3 orang ya? 3 tadi ya? We have the 3 questioner. I'd like to invite Pak Director to come forward to present. Yeah. Oh, Mbak Mandiri ya? Oh, sorry. Okay. Mbak Mandiri will present the souvenir to the presenters. To the questions. Persons. Oke, Pak Michael. Silakan. Ini this souvenir is from Bank Mandiri. This is sponsored this seminar. Yeah, give applause to Bank Mandiri, please. Yeah. Yeah. Tepuk tangan dulu sekali lagi. Give applause to. Okay, give applause again to Bank Mandiri who sponsored this event. And thank you very much. Thank you Pak Hamsu. Thank you Ibu Dewi. Thank you Mbak. Okay. Selanjutnya, I'd like to invite Pak Direktur to present souvenir from Poltekpar. Pak Direktur. Yeah. Ketua Panitia, oke. Pak Nur Salam, Wakil 2, silakan Pak mewakili Pak Direktur sebagai ini memberikan souvenir ke Ibu Prof Dina. Sekali lagi tepuk tangan untuk Ibu Prof Dina, Profesor Muda, dan Pak Nur Salam. Yes. foto bersama dulu Pak Direktur. Ibu Eta, Bu Margareta Waditranante, silakan naik ke panggung, kita foto bersama. Mungkin bersama dengan Ibu Kadis sekalian. Terima kasih semuanya. Kami atas nama Manajemen Politeknik Pariwisata Makassar mengucapkan terima kasih. Ya, from Manajemen Politeknik Makassar. Thank you very much for your coming, everybody, for your participation in this seminar. This session I will give it to Pak Indra.
Thank you very much for Mr. Muhammad Arfin Muhammad Salim for being a moderator. Please give a massive applause for Mr. Muhammad Arfin Muhammad Salim. Please pay attention for all participants required to fill up the share the attendance link and certificate will be sent to each email within 2 days after this international tourism seminar done. Once again, certificate will be sent to each email within 2 days after this international tourism seminar done. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. I would like thank you both sponsor, namely Mandiri Bank and Marasa Frozen Food, then official media partner, namely Sahabat Event Makassar, Event Center, Mading Event and Mr. Makassar. Then I would like to thank in collaboration to University of Pelita Harapan and Burapa University International College. And ladies and gentlemen, the last, thank all speakers for the informative and interesting presentation, and all the participants for your very active participations in this seminar. Let us give all speakers and all of you a big round of applause. Thank you very much. I am Indra Gunawan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tourism Polytechnic of Makassar, absolutely qualified. See you next time.
Indonesia is the most beautiful land in the universe. The land where we were born. The nation where we grew up. So many colors that live together in peace. With a million timeless treasures. With an abundance of natural wealth. Indonesia is not just wonderful. Indonesia is a wonderland.
Kota baru dunia berbeda, berbeda manapun di sana, manapun di sana. Bertemulah warna indah, indah iman di dada rasa malaya, iman di dada rasa malaya. Sang
Semua panitia.
Semua panitia, yuk kita foto ya.
Cek, 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 1, 2, cek. Cek, cek, cek.
Yuk, ayo foto,
Cek,
yuk foto.
1, cek.
Yuk foto.
Oh. Cek. Mundur-mundur kok deh, supaya muat nih. Mundur-mundur kok supaya muat nih.
Cek kepada seluruh panitia untuk bisa menuju ke stage, kita foto bersama. Cek.
Sudah siap? Ya, oke. International Tourism Seminar 2022